Hi, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, we had a really interesting day today. We went in with Rado. We've managed to cobble together enough money to be able to get him a bike. We've already done the acknowledgements on this, but we had a couple of donations from Noel. We had one from John of Nova Scotia, and with that and selling a Carabao, which Beth and I decided that we would buy that Carabao, yet let Manarado keep on taking care of it. It's a female, and we'll be having probably calving fairly soon, because Manarado does have a male which can sire this female that we bought. But Rado would still take it, and yet he would have got the money that would top him up for being able to get a motorcycle. Why does he need that? Well, he needs that so that he can, in emergency situations, he can take his disabled son to hospital. Now, the last time that emergency rose, we had to put Manarado in the back of our truck, a rough ride out to the hospital with the boy, and then he stayed in the hospital, eventually was transferred to Tagbilaran. But anyway, what we're looking at is putting that facility into the hands of Manarado. Now, this is where other angels come in and help out, and it's always it's a humbling experience actually when you see how generous people can be. And what happened was that while Brian was there, of Brian and Maricel's fame, Brian looked at the motorcycle. He was obviously he went along with us out of curiosity, and he looked at the motorcycle and he said, I think it would be much better if Rado were to have fitted a couple of tyres that were more off-road. And he said, I would be willing to buy those tyres right now if they will fit them. So, sure enough, we walked across the road, bought the tyres, brought them back, and while we were waiting, the tyres were fitted to the motorcycle. And so now Manarado has those more off-road, more knobbly, if you're with me, knobbly tyres, and the new tyres, which were already on the bike, are his as well. So we brought those home. So we tied the bike onto the back of the truck and we brought it home. Now, what the plan originally was that Manarado, when he bought the bike, he would have it delivered to the bottom of our rough ride. Now, the way that it would have worked out, that it would have been in the dark, because it was in the dark when we got home. We got home after darkness with the, this was yesterday, and we got home and it was dark. Now, Manarado's not an experienced rider. He's going to have to pick up on his skill on that, so that's something that he's going to have to work on, and he will. But anyway, it was a relief to get the bike onto the truck, because we got the bike up to the house complete without him having to ride up that path, which I would have been concerned that he would be able to make it. Bearing in mind that I'm not doing this from a high altitude, because when I brought my bike back from the shop, I dropped it 3 times on the way up, just getting it back to the house. I knew the road was just a path in those days, so things have improved a little by now. So, oh, I see Coco's going out. Beth's putting Coco out. Okay, honey, can you close?
No, I wait for Golden.
Why, you're putting Golden out?
No, it's Coco out. Golden is still at Nana.
Okay, alright. Well, we can close the door. Yeah? Excuse me. Excuse me, I've just got... I've got to be... come here, I'm going to beat you up.
Why you beat
So
me up?
anyway, we got the bike back, and so that was the end of that adventure for that day. But we learned about a possible new development, which will be for us, which will enable us to save money. Now, right now, we started off uploading uploading our videos. We started off at the internet cafe because the weak signal here, we never really resolved that. So we started off, we went to the internet cafe after we'd made our videos, and we uploaded them there, which often involved several hours and maybe 150 pesos in charges. So while we were there, we have to eat. So we go to a restaurant and we eat, and that restaurant turned out to be Vedasto, which has good internet connection, and it's a free Wi-Fi. So we were able to go there, we would eat our food, and at the same time we would upload our videos. So that seemed, back then, when we first started that quite a few months ago, that seemed to be the way to go, and it was for a while. But now we've realized, we found out that we can rent a very nice studio apartment. A studio apartment. It's got like a dirty kitchen out the back, which for those who are not familiar with that, that's a very simple arrangement outside, with a sink, running water, somewhere to wash dishes, and possibly somewhere where we could actually, say, barbecue something or cook something. Get a rice cooker and all of that. And so we could actually handle that. It's partially furnished, a bed, double bed and mattress, and a small cabinet that we could keep things. So at worst, we would have to buy a small desk so that Beth can work on the computer. Right, so we found a place, and we're going to rent that, and that rent will only be 3,500. Well, if you work that out, that's a month, by the way, and 3,500. If you have a benchmark of about 5,000 for $100, it gives you an idea that this is not very much money at all, and will actually save us a great deal of money. Plus, if it ever gets to that point where we're coming home and would be driving that difficult path in darkness, we don't have to do that. So we could maybe spend 2, possibly 3 nights down at the studio apartment in Talibon, and will be much easier. Life would be much easier. For one thing, I would be able to actually do something instead of sitting there for another hour or an hour and a half after I've dealt with the comments, after I've fielded the comments, answered any, and so on. It doesn't usually take me anything like the time that it takes Beth to upload videos. It's a slower process for her. But even then, she will be able to do other things, because when you're uploading videos, a lot of the time you're just sitting waiting for it to happen. And if we don't feel safe about leaving the laptop anywhere uploading, even though that has been offered to us before, it would mean leaving something that has all of our information, all of our videos and stuff like that, and it would be too great a risk. So we choose not to do that and be present with the laptop while it's uploading. Well, this way we have an apartment, we would be able to do that. Now, an apartment, what we're talking about is a tiny room that's about maybe 11 or 12 feet long, with its own bathroom and wash facilities, and maybe 10 feet wide. It's a tiny place, but more than enough for the occasional type of stay that we would have there. Plus, we would be able to sleep there a couple of nights, and if we have, as I say, a rice cooker and all of that, all very ordinary information that you aren't really interested in. But life will get a little bit easier. We'll be able to do other stuff. So that's that was just what I thought that we could bring you up to date on. That's our ordinary life has taken many different turns, and now having a channel as it is right now, and doing fine on it, and now having to get an apartment, even though it's only 3,500 pesos per month. It's not something that we had anticipated when we first started the channel. So, thanks for listening in. That's a little update about what we're doing. And by the way, this little apartment that we're taking is in it's in a row of new apartments that have been put together, and there's maybe 8 or 10 different apartments. And if you look out the front door, right up above you almost, the base of the tower for the signal is about 200 or 300 yards away. So we're assuming, hopefully correctly, that the signal will be very strong. So this is a foreigner in the Philippines. Thanks for looking in. Bye for now.